So hi, Addy.
Hi.
We are here on the Alex 4 booth.
That's right, yeah.
And you are with Animal Factory amps, right?
Yep. Still here. I think from the first time you guys came around, a lot has changed actually. So yeah.
And you've got a bunch of new kind of modules to show us, right?
Yeah, we're really excited. It's been 2 really insane years, and we spent a good amount of time the last year redesigning our entire module lineup effectively, and we were hoping to do a big launch at Super Booth, but that didn't work out. But here we are now, and I'm really happy to see to show what we've. Some of it is already in stores. Some of these this is a prototype, that is a prototype, this is in production. The new Coma Reactors are in production as well. These are already in stock with retailers everywhere, so that's
where we're at.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now, yeah.
Brilliant. So what are we going to hear today?
So let me run you through each of these. I'm going to put on my headphones a bit so I can hear it. What we're trying to do is we're designing modules that kind of work with each other, because what we've noticed what tends to happen is that a lot of people who buy our modules don't just stick to 1 or 2, they end up buying multiple or the entire line. And what we want to do is just like add a little extra value to that. So what we're doing is we're building ecosystems of modules that patch internally. And one of those, I think the biggest one that's going to be probably at the forefront of doing that is the Tannhauser Gates Quad VCA Mixer. And what it effectively is, it's 4 VCAs with each channel with a tilt, EQ, and panning. Let me just turn that down. So you have input gain controls. When you turn it up a little beyond the 2 o'clock point, you get a little saturation going. There's a very simple but very effective tilt equalizer to bring out bass or treble frequencies. And then there's panning so that you can send it to left or right channels. So you got 4 of these channels. You have a stereo output. You have a dedicated return path for a stereo send and return. And you have a master CV. So if you want to put, say, 4 oscillators in that trigger with the same envelope, you can do that using the master CV. And then just plugging into any of the CV inputs will interrupt that.
So does the gain kind of overdrive at all?
Yeah, it does. But it's not. No. The gain is more about setting the gain point. The real control over overdrive is this knob. We also have provisions for Xeno limiting. So if you want to add that, we're going to be doing an expansion so as not to clutter up the faceplate of having inserts per channel. So if you want a dedicated effect as a per channel insert, you can do that. But the real fun part is this is a prototype, so the final version is going to look a little different. The real fun part is this thing. That is going to send each channel output, and this receives channel outputs from up to 3 more of these. So what we're doing is we're building an expandable mixer system that will allow up to 16 channels of Eurorack mixing, but summed onto 1, while keeping all the other inputs and outputs active. So you want to keep, if you want to have group effects for, say, a drum sub-mixer, you can do that, and then also process the return part on the way back in. So that's the Tannhauser Gates, and the way I've got it set it up right now is I'm getting an input from a drum kit into the new Bonesaw VCF, which I believe I don't think you saw it at the last Super Booth because we just released it last year. It's a really simple VCF, but it can get really aggressive, and it does a couple of things that I don't think I've seen on other VCFs. So right now we'll go into the low pass output, and keep the drive fairly low. I'm going to turn the resonance off for this bit. If you turn on the drive, you can get nice and crunchy. The resonance is pretty impressive. Here's something that I haven't seen in a lot of other VCFs. It has an FM input, and when nothing is connected to the FM input, the bandpass output is normaled in here, which then goes through a VCA of its own and can affect the frequency cutoff in phase or out of phase. So you can get some very interesting tonal textures from this, and if you want to use it as an oscillator, you turn it this way, and you get a saw, and an inverted saw on the other end.
Crunchy.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
it's like really raggedy, and it's like a drunk surgeon, right? Like doing an amputation or something. Now we're gonna look at the Baron Zombie, the new version. Frankly, we spent so much time like even working on this, we don't even know what it does anymore. So we kind of decided to just celebrate that and start trying to figure it out. So the controls are the same. It's life, death, burial. What they do, it's exactly like what it sounds like. So that's your clean signal, and here's the fuzz. So we kept the sound as pretty much as the same classic sound that it always had, and the pedal has as well, with the addition of this. So that's a voltage controlled feedback circuit, and you can sequence it. You can add triggers. Yeah, and last but not least, we have the Coma Reactor, which is very similar to the original, with the added joy of control over the frequency of the internal bandpass filter. At some point, the filter internally starts oscillating. If you have a sequencer or something that you can use, you can actually modulate the resonance as well. We didn't want to change too much from the original circuit because people really like that sound. We didn't want to add more VCAs to mess with noise levels. But I felt the one thing that people kind of wanted was to see some use for the expansion over here. And as for things like voltage control feedback, that could be done with either of these expanders. This one is still a work in progress, but what it's basically going to do is we want to be sending, it will take up to 5 CV inputs, send them to up to 4 pairs of animal factory effects. So the idea is to have this as an end-stage stereo processing unit, which each effect has its own return path with these sliders. Okay, this is we goofed up in the prototype, so this one controls the brightness of that, and the other way around. But we'll get it right, I promise.
So when are you hoping to kind of have all of these prototypes kind of ready and out in the wild? Is it?
Tannhauser Gates is already in production, as is Coma Reactor. In fact, I believe we're done with the SMD board manufacturing in like a week now. So we're going to be doing final assembly towards the end of the month, and they're already back ordered with a bunch of retailers in the EU. So I think you'll see them in stores roughly in July. Around, I'd say, give or take, July 15th to 31st, something around that period.
And do you have any kind of idea on final price at the moment?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any idea of the final price at the moment?
Yes. I think Coma Reactor it's a little more expensive than it's going to be a little more expensive than the previous version because things have been so crazy the last couple of years with shortages and also foreign exchange rates in India being what they are. The Coma Reactor is around 220, if I'm not wrong, or 225 is what we're listing them for. The Tannhauser Gates is going to be at 400, and the Orabas 2, which will be using EF86 tubes, is going to be around the same price, which is about 600. All prices in USD, so that's 600 USD for this, 220 for the new Coma, and 400 for the new Tannhauser Gates, roughly, plus minus 25, I'd say. We have no pricing for the matrix mixer and the lament configuration because we're not done with them yet. I think that's something that we'll probably have to announce around Super Booth or so. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, Adi, thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure was all mine. Always great having you guys here.